How you doing? We're Hands Like Houses, and you're watching Rock Forever magazine.
Hey guys, it's Tori from Rock Forever magazine, and I am here right now with the guys from Hands Like Houses.
How you doing?
How's it going today? You guys are good?
Yeah. Stayed out of the wet so far, so we're doing well.
I know. You guys picked a gloomy day to come to Orlando, but I am so stoked you're here. You're brightening the day. That was so tacky.
That's the light on the camera.
Oh, it might be the light. I don't know. But anyway, we are going to start with some finish a sentence for you guys. So you're good to go?
Alright, go for it.
All right. Now, the best prank you ever witnessed was when?
I would have to say when we're out with Pierce Vale. Like, I don't know if it was a prank, it was just a bit funny. Coops and Tony.
No.
Yeah,
What happened?
No.
Why am I getting ruled out of this?
Blatantly illegal.
It's fine then.
Well,
Got video
you
footage.
have to share it now.
Yeah, no, it's fine, go.
It's alright. That everyone was out having a few drinks, and Tony from Pierce Vale and Coops thought it'd be funny to move some traffic cones that were on the road, and a car ended up following them into a 1 foot deep concrete pit, and couldn't get out. They ran away very quickly, but it's a funny prank.
It wasn't.
It's a creative one, that's for sure. And now the first concert you ever went to was, we're going to have to pass this down because I think you're all going to have different answers. So.
Yeah, I can't think of a good one.
Chris Isaac.
What was it?
Chris Isaac.
Oh,
I think mine was Blink.
oh that's such a good one.
Yeah, I think many years ago in our hometown. It was awesome.
You have bragging rights
Playing
twice.
camera?
Yeah, AIS. That's mad.
And so
Who'd have thought?
you're not going to say your first concert? Was it
I
really
can't even
that
remember. There's
embarrassing?
it's just a few. I can't really remember what the first one actually was.
Oh. Alrighty then. Now the biggest misconception about the band is, do you think there are any?
Do we have moustaches?
Yeah.
That is definitely not a misconception.
get-
That is very true.
Excuse me, this is a beard. That's a beard. That's a beard.
Okay, that's
It's a
actually.
poor beard, but it's a short beard.
Yeah.
But it's a beard nonetheless.
So it's just all out facial hair, not just a mustache anymore.
Yeah.
You're going all out.
Kind of got sick of walking past lines like, oh my god, I love your mustache, or can I be in your band?
Yeah.
You
So
know,
we're just like, no, we're just gonna. You can't quite do this and say, can I be in your band? It's a lot harder than just doing that. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thought
I
behind it.
actually did get quite a few fan questions just about your mustaches. So I mean, you guys are kind of known for that now,
Yeah. Look,
and that's not a bad thing. I don't think.
It's not a bad thing. It just wasn't an intentional thing.
Oh,
a couple of us had moustaches and it just kind of caught on.
it definitely
Oh, that
did.
and yeah, the Pierce Vale tour was in the middle of November, so a couple of us were growing them when we don't normally.
Oh, I got you. Well, you definitely have the reputation of good mustaches, even though you don't have them anymore.
They're here.
There
They're
are
just
worse
hiding.
reputations to have.
Yeah.
They're definitely
True.
worse.
And now the last one here, the craziest moment on tour happened when?
I got hit by a car.
Did you really? What?
Al did.
Rolled
Oh,
off in the stationary car. That wouldn't be the
He went to sit on a car and then the car accelerated and then he kind of went over the back of it. So it's like he got hit by a car, but the car wasn't moving.
so it was a lot more dramatic looking than it actually was.
Yeah. He went to hospital though and got stitched up. And
Oh, so it was actually
there was
very
a lot of blood
dramatic.
and it was not fun. It was kind of a bit of a
Wasn't that
stressful
crazy,
evening.
though?
That was the same night actually as the car incident we talked about earlier.
Man, I wish I would have been there for that now. Just could have filmed everything. That's insane.
No,
well,
that
that
would be
definitely
bad.
counts
That
as
would
a
be
crazy
bad.
tour moment.
Definitely.
And now your album Unimagine is out right now. What's the significance behind the album title, and how does that relate to the theme of the album?
Yeah, I guess Unimagine, I think the idea actually came probably about 2 years ago when we were on the Scream It Like You Mean It tour. Just kind of, we had obviously a few very different bands playing, like had Acacia Strain and Impending Doom, and obviously have quite different kind of ethos and beliefs behind their bands. And I was kind of just like listening every night to the different things people were saying and started kind of just pulling it apart and deconstructing where I stood on those sort of ideas and thoughts. And I think that kind of where the idea started of just turn something on its head, and like by having completely contrasting opinions, which is always something that's meant a lot to me, but like by having, you know, by seeing both sides of a coin, essentially, you kind of see what things are, if that makes sense. You get a better perspective on things. So I think that's how Unimagine came about. And Unimagine is that process of kind of deconstructing and kind of getting out of this like imaginary world of trying to you know, it's easy to get kind of caught up with dreams and all these like hopeful things, but unless you're very firmly tied to reality, you can't kind of get there. So it's basically just deconstructing where you're at to understand where you want to go and what you want to achieve, but in a very realistic, like achievable sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's a really awesome explanation for that title. I really appreciate it even more now. And so does it relate to the songs on the album where you're deconstructing ideas through the songs,
Yeah.
through the lyrics. Is that overall what the album's all about?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every song kind of came out of its own place over a year and a bit that we were writing it in the lead up. Just different ideas that kind of came to me or others of us kind of at different points. But I think it was just all in all about exploring, like, there's songs about happiness, there's songs about anxiety and depression, there's songs about like just, you know what I mean? It's all about the contrast, and I think as an album it has to be as a whole, because we often get pegged as a positive band or a happy band, and I don't think that's the case. I think that's just people taking out what they want to take out of it, but it's all about balance, it's all about perspective, and I think that's what makes life beautiful is, understanding the bad stuff to appreciate the good stuff and vice versa. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how did you guys come up with the album artwork design?
We've
yeah.
always had a thing for jellyfish, and then
Not like a
Not
thing,
like-
not like a
no, like a weird thing. We've had a weird thing with jellyfish the whole time. And then
I think we just were playing around. I think I came up with the idea of just putting a city on a jellyfish, and then we just gave
we
it
worked
to
with the same guy who did our last album.
Yeah,
there's not a big in-depth thought process
No,
behind it, but
it's kind of like
the concept art came out really cool, so we're like, oh yeah, let's do it.
yeah.
Wanted something weird, a bit strange, and
Yeah.
city on a jellyfish. That was the end
Which would
result.
be a really cool thing.
I mean,
We'll come up with
Can
it.
we make that happen, please? No, but that's actually really creative, and even though it doesn't have a meaning behind it, I'm impressed that you came up with City on a Jellyfish.
A lot of people, well, not a lot, but I reckon about 5 so far have thought it was a cupcake, which is,
Oh,
yeah.
I never saw it as a cupcake,
disappointing.
but now I feel like I have to do a double take
Yeah.
so I can see the cupcake.
Yeah.
No, but I know you guys, I read in another interview that this album you had a little more of a time crunch than your last one, right? So how did the different environment and the different mindset influence your sound?
I think we had to be a lot more trusting of our own abilities, particularly musically, because Ground Dweller we were writing literally some of those songs for 3-4 years before we recorded it. So we had that time to refine everything. This time around, I think we had to kind of be more confident and also be a bit less attached, so that if things needed to change, we were able to kind of cut and do it. James Wisner, who was a producer, actually not far from here in Orlando, he lives in St. Cloud. We worked with him, and he was just an incredible influence on just knowing what to add and what to cut out, and how to give everything room to express itself while giving everything else room to breathe at the same time. So I think all in all, it was kind of trusting him and trusting ourselves that essentially made the album what it is, and we're stoked. So
Yeah. And I know you guys recorded the album here in Orlando, right? Yeah?
close to, yeah.
Because I pretty much saw you at every show throughout the time you were working on this album. You were everywhere here in Orlando. But you guys are from Australia. So
Yeah.
do you think culture shock played a role in the creative process at all? Just being in a new country?
Kind of. We were pretty much in a house with that. The only time we did leave the house was to go to those shows that you saw. So we weren't really everywhere. It's just those places. But I don't know. I think we work best when we lock ourselves away. We've always done like little lockdowns and stuff since the early days of the band, and we'd lock ourselves in a room for 24 hours a week or so. And
How we go mental.
yeah, no, that happens. But that's yeah.
So there's one of the times we didn't. The only time we left was to run 4 kilometres, about 2.5 miles to get SingStar, like that singing karaoke. So then we all just sat in the room for like 4 hours playing SingStar.
Yeah.
I think it was before my time. It's
Yeah.
a good story though.
And I also read in an interview that you guys sort of had scattered thoughts that you were just writing down in your laptops, notebooks, iPhones,
Yeah.
whatever it was, right? And so
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's hard to kind of write, be inspired and write everything at once. You kind of just got to come up with an idea and then revisit it. I've actually very intentionally don't look at my notes for weeks, months at a time, just so that I can kind of come back to it. And if I realign with that mindset, then it starts kind of coming back to me. It's a bit more perspective, but I think that's probably the case with music and stuff as well. Like we had ideas that became a part of, for example, Out of Suburbia on Unimagine. It was actually a song that got written 3 years ago for Ground Dweller. Oh, true, actually, yeah. Yeah, when I joined the band, that was the first song I actually did demo vocals for, and we completely rewrote it. But it's that same sort of thing, just kind of having time and scattered notes just helps you to build on them later and separate them from each other, rather than trying to use all your good ideas at once and then having 3 songs and half an album to write still.
yeah. So considering that, I kind of envisioned that you guys were just jotting down notes as soon as they came to mind, just when inspiration randomly came to you. So where did you find inspiration on this album?
Everywhere. Movies, paints, painting,
Paints?
paints,
Just paints. Just
I mean,
really-
any form of art that inspires creativity. You just trigger something, you write something down, and then jot it away, put it somewhere, and then come back later and see what you've got.
Were there any particular events that happened while you were working on it that really got you? Or?
I don't really work from sort of events. I'll need to look. I don't know about you, but you guys.
I can't remember specific ones. Like, I'd have to kind of go through every song and try and go back to where it came from. But yeah, I think it comes to the same sort of thing. It's like, you know, good poems, good ideas. And I mean, you know, some stuff, like one of the songs, Ocean Dust, came out of a poem that I wrote in high school as a project that was on a writing camp with about, I think, 15 other people and an English teacher. And yeah, just was sitting on the beach one morning. It was just after sunrise and was kind of playing with sand. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And just kind of, yeah, I mean, you know, here we are 6-7 years later and 6? Wait, hang on.
So many.
Like 9 years. Wow. Wow.
Time flies, right?
Yep, 9 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm feeling old. Anyway.
It happens. I feel like we all have those epiphanies, like, that was that long ago? So I think that's what just happened.
Yep.
And what's the story behind the song Fountainhead?
I think as we were kind of preparing, like, I mean, I guess the feeling behind it, like, that kind of kick-started it, was that we were going into album 2 and kind of everyone was just saying, oh, you know, write it like this or make it sound like that, and just that, like, it, you know, not from our professional camp, it's more from, like, fans and from everyone was just kind of like, and just dealing with that kind of sense of entitlement that a lot of people have to us and our music and figuring out, well, what's our independent while still, like, staying faithful to the people who essentially are paying our wage. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, obviously don't want to boil it down to that, but, you know, if we changed completely, which we never wanted to do, but if we changed completely, like, people wouldn't get it. So I think it was just kind of dealing with, like, our own independence as artists and as creative people, while still kind of retaining the core of who we are and where we've been. Mm-hmm. And so I think, like, there's a particular book called The Fountainhead that ended up kind of being the title reference, which is quite brilliant, by an author named Ayn Rand, who wrote it in the 50s, wasn't it, or 40s? Brilliant book about this architect who had the same sort of dilemma where he was just, he wanted to invest his whole self into his craft, and he was just getting told to do it a certain way and, like, sell out his identity and his core values for success or because of what was expected. And it was just about, I think just kind of exploring self and identity in an artistic process. Yeah.
There are certain values that I've seen a few fans pick up from Fountainhead. I mean, the book's incredible, but there are certain values that Rand put in her stories that aren't really,
can be taken very
that we don't sort of go side to side with. But Howard Rourke, his character in the story, is incredible. And I guess the main bit of inspiration was his courthouse speech. If anyone's seen the movie or read the book, it's incredible, and his character is just out of this world. And I think that, it's his character that it's really relating to, rather than Rand's altruistic values that she puts in her work.
Yeah. I mean, I see stuff like this happening all the time with bands where they release a new album and all the fans are like, well, this doesn't sound like your last album. So I'm excited that you guys are evolving, and you could see just between the 2 albums you've released, I mean, you've changed a lot, but in a good way, I think. So where do you see your music heading next, on the next release? Is it too early to start talking about that? Because I'm wondering.
I mean, we are starting to think about writing it, because obviously there's a long process of writing and recording and publishing and promotion, and to have it out in a reasonable time. But yeah, I think, I don't know, I think we're still kind of, like, Unimagine was very much where we want to be. I think it's a case of just trying to do it again and just keep growing and evolving and see how it happens. Like, we've already put some stuff out. It's a little bit more rock, I suppose, and you know, if anything, I'd say probably don't get too attached to the hardcore side of our sound. Not that, like, not that it's ever, you know, been a huge part of it, but it's something we listen to, and we still do. I mean, I still love listening to heavy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're on tour with Memphis Mayfire right now.
Exactly,
so.
And you know, so it's always going to be an influence, but I think, you know, we want to make stuff sound big, and I think from the outset we've always wanted to make music that's big and heavy without relying on, you know, genre-specific cliches.
Yeah.
Just you kind of. So I think it's going to be rock. It's still going to be great to sing along to, great fun to play live, and I think that's been very much shaping kind of the way we're trying to write now. Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add to that? Yeah. Pretty much. You nailed it. There you go. And now we have a couple fan questions that we got.
Moral support.
I know.
And
there we go.
I don't know.
I just thought the metal guitar guitar background music.
I know.
throughout
How
this
awesome
entire
is this,
job.
right?
Beartooth
Now
sound
it's
checking.
screaming, coming in.
Yeah, not bad background music,
Yeah.
that's for sure. But I got bombarded with fan questions for you guys. Your fans are amazing. Yeah, I know. I was like, what just happened? As soon as you guys retweeted. Well, we got a fan question here from Rachel asking, who's your celebrity crush? This should be a fun one.
Hugh Jackman.
All right.
Lock in Hugh Jackman. Jamal's just leaning in here just like that.
Hugh Jackman.
Can I have a vowel?
I'll say Natalie Portman. I think she's beautiful.
I feel like it's a popular celebrity crush. I hear that one a lot.
I have no idea.
No idea?
No idea. I don't want to think too
You
hard
also
about it.
lock in Hugh Jackman.
All right, you're in agreement then.
Yeah.
And now fan question from Beth asking, what was the first show you ever played as a band like?
As a band or as this lineup? What do you reckon? As this lineup, we played a bar in Canberra called Bar 32, where the whole bar was probably about the width of this balcony we're on right now. Which
Legendary bar.
Legendary bar, great place. Oh, with a few couches, and yeah, people have to walk through the stage to go to the bathrooms.
Yeah, I have to get in between like.
So that's always fun, kind of
That'd be
mid-song.
So awkward.
Yeah, mid-song, some drunk guy kind of stumbles through on his way to take a piss. But yeah, honestly, it was actually really good fun. I remember this was at a stage where Coops and Joel had these, they called them drinking pants. They actually made a show at Minnesota date on Warped Tour last year, which unfortunately someone was recording the whole set and put it on YouTube. It was Coops' birthday, but we busted out the drinking pants, which is basically these like, what were it, like lycra?
We had we wanted to find the most disgusting pants we'd ever seen, and we found them. And
You have to explain them.
they're
now.
just
I really need to
they're just disgusting tights. We got them from a second-hand store in Berlin, I think. And yeah, we used to only wear them if we were drinking beers. And now we wear them and then we played shows with them, and now we wear them on our birthdays if we have a show.
They're basically
As
like
last
shiny
They're lycra,
spandex
lycra.
Spandex,
Yeah, shiny with crazy patterns.
Spandex, like.
That sounds beautiful.
Oh, it is. It's glorious,
And
but
they're
in a
well
disgusting
worn
way.
in by somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Well worn in by someone else. A few stains.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Pretty sure one of them's got a blood stain down
Yeah,
the leg.
maybe.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah.
So this is on YouTube. I can find this on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not going to link you. You have to do your own homework, but
Watch me, I'll find it. I'm determined now. And you guys are on tour right now with Memphis Mayfire, The Word Alive, many more. So what are your plans right after this that fans can look forward to?
we head out to the UK a couple of weeks after this finishes, so we got like 2 weeks to chill in LA and get a few things done and organised. And then, yeah, head to the UK for 3 weeks and back here with Chiodos and Amorosa and Our Last Night, which will be, and 68, of course, which is Ex-Chariot, which is going to be an awesome tour. I wish we were on the whole thing. We're only on kind of the second half, and then we've got some plans after that aren't announced yet. So, sorry we can't give you the exclusive
I
yet. but-
think you can share it if you really want to.
But we don't really want to yet. We are very sneaky.
Just broke my heart. No, but I know you guys are really good on social networking sites. So anybody wants to follow you guys, find your Facebook, music online, where can they go?
Just
All of them.
hands like
Yeah,
ours is.
Search it in Google.
Yeah.
Google's good.
Yeah.
Google is great.
Instagram.
It'll lead you to your weapon of choice as social networks go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Has been awesome.
That's it, right?
Yeah, everybody watching, make sure you check out Hands Like Houses, subscribe for more interviews, and I'll see you next time. Bye.